Hi again. I want to talk today about marketing qualified leads, not how to create them, that's a whole lot of fun, rather what is a marketing qualified lead and how's that different from a sales qualified lead or a sales accepted lead. Tomes have been written on this subject and frankly I don't agree with any of them. A marketing qualified lead is as Q as S wants it. It's as qualified as sales wants it to be. If you want me to take a lead that's just a name, it's what they used to call leads, I'll give you a lot of names. I'll go and buy the yellow pages or I'll buy a list. That's a name. If you want the name to actually know who you are, then I'm going to give you a name that knows who we are. I'll touch them once or twice with a meaningful conversation so they get what we do. That can be an MQL. If you want a name to be somebody who's raised their hand, they've reacted in some fashion and shown interest, I'll give you those. Obviously less than if I give you just names or names that know us, names that have shown some interest in the conversation. I can give you fewer of those, but they'll be of much higher quality. How about gap acknowledged? Maybe you would prefer the leads to have already not only responded that they're interested in the conversation, but actually they're feeling some of the problem that you're really good at solving. Once again, I can give you fewer of those because not everybody who raises their hand is troubled. What does sales want? That needs to be a negotiation between marketing and sales. This exact conversation, how far do you want me to take them? I can take them all the way to the bank. Now, if you're selling a $100,000 product, me as marketing, what's my mechanism to close the deal? It's going to be far less effective than yours sales is, so maybe you ought to take that closure rate. You want me to take them all the way there? I can do it. But I'm going to be less effective than you, so why don't I back up a little bit? So you want me to make the proposal? Once again, sales is going to be much better at doing that. We keep on moving the dial. I can give you very few, very well advanced, very many, but rubbish. Where do we want that dial to be set? And that's a negotiation between sales and marketing. So what is an MQL? It's whatever S wants it to be. Marketing's going to advocate it, but if marketing says, this is what I think an MQL, and I've read all these great books on what an MQL is, and this is what an MQL is, and sales says, so that's nice, but here's what I need. We have misalignment from the get-go. It's not that hard. Negotiate it. Outline the buyer's journey and negotiate how far you want the buyer to have progressed, knowing that we're going to have fewer as we reach each stage. It can be that simple. My starting point in that conversation will always be the same one. That is, I would say the ideal starting point for a marketing qualified lead is we know that they meet the ideal client profile, ideal customer profile, because there's no point selling to somebody who doesn't meet that profile. They're bigger than this, smaller than that, they're in one of these three verticals, they're structured in this way, they're older than this or younger than this as a company. Whatever the characteristics are that make up an ideal client profile, certainly they need to be that, I would argue. Certainly, they should have evidenced the problem or some resonance to the problem that you solve. Not just, I'm interested in your content, but actually, I think that problem could be going on and I wouldn't mind having a chat with somebody who understands that problem really well. I would argue. Should be in trouble, at least alluding to the problem. Maybe through the digital body language, maybe through a survey response, maybe a telemarketing response. You can work that out. But they should be indicating that they're troubled. And ideally, they should have said, and I'd like to meet somebody. ICP, in pain, and yes, I'd like to meet. But as I said for the first 3 minutes, that's only your starting point. Negotiate with sales. I can give you only a few of those, but I think they're a good lead. Do you want them to be more advanced? Still. Do you want them to be less advanced, but give you more? There's your starting point. Negotiate where you want the dial to be set and have that conversation often, because frankly sales is going to forget. How come marketing never gives me enough leads? Because you told me, sales, you want them to be this advanced. Have that conversation often. Frankly, every time you hand the leads over, weekly if you want. Start with ICP, troubled, I want to meet, and shift the dial wherever marketing and sales both agree they're willing to shift the dial. By the way, the further along, the more budget I need. Further up here, the more I'm going to waste your time. It's a trade-off, it's a negotiation, and start with ICP pain and I want to meet. Hope that helps.